Okay, guys, it's Red Shirt Hot Take Day. So this one is about stop scaring everyone that AI is going to take their jobs, especially for my marketing friends out there and my growth friends. Is there change happening? Yes. Here's what that change is. Marketing is no longer I reach a CMO level and I have 20 people who sit underneath me and they all do my work for me and I sit back and wash my hands of it. I don't think any of you who are watching this were at that stage. I'm just saying that's what a lot of people I think in the past used to think that marketing was. Nowadays, it's expected that if you're a marketer, you are a generalist, you have a ton of skills, and you're able to use AI the right way. So why do we keep wanting to scare everyone saying that AI is going to steal their jobs? I'm serious here. It's not helpful. It's not leadership. And really what's happening is AI isn't taking their jobs, it's replacing the execution layer that used to be there before. The 20 group of people that I mentioned, that's all gone because you don't need them. You have execution, and that's why you no longer want to be a specialist, you want to be a generalist, because if you have a true understanding of marketing, then you can truly be dangerous when it comes to AI. So instead of creating panic, we want to create progress. And where did this all come from? Well, I was listening to a conversation recently on Diary of a CEO, and the point that stuck to me is major technological shifts have created this fear every single time they've happened. None of us here today were there when the Industrial Revolution happened, but I imagine they probably felt much the same way. Most of us were here when the internet became a major thing, and when the computer became a thing before that, and when automation became a thing before that. You get my point. This isn't the first time that the human race has come across something that people have said, hey, it's going to replace everything and it's going to be a big issue. So every time people say this is the one thing that changes everything, realize what's happening. Robert Cialdini is a wonderful person who wrote a book called The Psychology of Influence. And one of the things that you'll know if you read his 7 ways of influencing people is that fear factor has a lot to do with how you can influence people. And all of that is great. I love great marketing as much as the next person. But if we could just stop the marketing of AI is going to steal the world, I think that that would be really helpful, because the real issue here is AI isn't going to replace everyone. It's going to replace the way that we did things before. So instead of panicking, let's talk about how your job is changing and what you need to do in order to be successful in this new role. Thing number one, you need to be successful by understanding AI. You need to be in it. This isn't one you delegate to somebody else. This is one that you go deep in. If you're not already using Claude Cowork, if you're not already very deep with all of your strategies inside of ChatGPT, I encourage you to take that time this week to get started on that, because it is a huge unlock. Number two, if you've already passed that, fantastic. Now let's start thinking about, okay, the way that I used to get promoted back in the old days was by learning how to automate things and fix problems. Well, what do you think AI does? Use it as a tool to allow you to be more present and more seen in the things that only you can do. This is where you really make a difference in terms of what needs to happen. Number three, start looking at understanding your systems and your growth as an organization, and realize that the CMOs of the future are going to be people who understand the entirety of the sales funnel. 15 years ago, I sat down deeply and sat with the sales team as a marketing hire number one for a company that later sold for 3 billion. And it was the best use of my time that I've ever had. Why? Because what it taught me was the full funnel. And I have now lived the last 15 years off of truly understanding marketing and sales. And if it did nothing else for me, it allowed me to bring those two things together so I didn't have to worry about alignment discussions. I actually knew what it was like to carry a quota like a salesperson did, to have a number assigned to my back and know what that fear is like every day. But also, from a marketing background, I also knew how to actually put out an inbound campaign and to help my sales team. So that's the level of expectation that you're going to be held to today. We call it growth marketing. You can call it whatever you want to, but the goal is you got to know the whole pipeline. That's the third thing. So don't take part in these mistakes that companies are making, where they're either treating AI like it's a threat or it's a toy. It's not about that. Human judgment is always going to come into play. And that's the piece that differentiates you and makes you better than the other people that have the same job title than you. It's being able to understand, hey, this is what I know how to do, and this is what AI cannot do. And I understand that as a growth person. I understand it's not going to substitute my taste, my trust, my political context, my business judgment. AI can't replace the consequences of a decision. And that's where humans still matter. And that's where you still matter. So instead of talking about, hey, AI is going to take your job, talk about how AI takes the low value points of your job, just like automation did in the years before us, so that you're focused instead on what things can you show up for and do more and do better than you could before, because now you should have more time. Yes, it's going to take some investment in the beginning to understand how to use AI the right way for you. Yes, it's going to take some manual work anytime you automate something to know what that process is. So, CEOs, please give some grace and time to your CMOs, your CROs, and your CGOs, anybody in a go to market function. Give them some grace while they figure out how they want to apply it. But then you should stop seeing less manual work and you should start to see more systems. You used to hire for playbooks. Now you want to hire for AI and their ability as a person to come in with a playbook and apply it and tailor it to your organization. That is where growth actually comes from. And that's what I'm interested in today is let's focus on how we can actually use AI and really start the conversation there. Hope this has been helpful. Have a great day.